As we continue to unravel the magic, the ability to access this amazing power of sacred sexual energy when it comes to manifestation, it is important to understand that balance is key. You see, with sacred sexual energy, you have to understand that the energy that is generated, the energy that is used in order to create the things that you desire, to direct that energy toward creating the things that you have decided, you have to understand the balance. You can associate that balance with understanding yin and yang. But really what we're talking about is the masculine and feminine energies. When you understand the dynamic of that energy and realize that in order to truly understand how to direct that complete energy of sacred sexual energy, you must understand the contrast of the masculine and the feminine energy. When you understand those energies and you understand how important it is to have a balance of both those energies as in one experience, then you can truly know how to direct that energy toward materializing the things that you want. And so when we think more about the masculine and feminine, we also want to think about the yin and yang. You see, the yin is more of a feminine energy, whereas the yang is more of a masculine energy. This is really not about gender per se, though you can easily put those things in those categories, right? But this is more of about a characteristic. This is more about personality and the way of being and how one approaches life. And so, though usually when we think about feminine and masculine, we often think about two individuals. When it comes to sacred sex, we're usually talking about the bringing together, right? The making love process between two people. But it doesn't really have to be between two people. It can be with just one person, right? The practice of masturbation and using that to also generate energy toward creating the thing that you want. Now, recognize that when you are practicing, right, solo lovemaking, you are accessing your power and you are using the process of sexuality to generate that energy to create the things that you want while you are alone. But the process of sacred energy is really getting into the energies of two individuals coming together, right? Multiplying the intensity of that energy to maybe generate more of a stronger process, right? More of a stronger or a quicker process toward materializing the things that you want. Because, like they say, two minds are better than one, two hearts are also better than one. But we're going to start with simply focusing on the solo aspects of generating the sexual energy that you have within yourself. And understanding that when you are thinking about the feminine and masculine, recognize that those things are within you, right? And it doesn't matter what gender you are. You have both elements within you. You just simply lean toward one more than the other, usually. So if you are somebody who is identifying as feminine, then in order to generate that sexual energy, you have to tap into some areas of masculinity, right? Whether you have to imagine it, you have to visualize it, you have to access it within yourself in order to generate the energy of completion, right? When it comes to using sacred energy to generate or create the thing that you want. Now, if you are somebody who identifies with masculine, then the same thing applies, right? You have to think about, visualize that feminine, right, energy or person or thing, right? You have to generate that feminine energy somehow in order to bring balance to yourself, right? Because you're with yourself at the moment and you are experiencing this loving oneself experience, right? And you have to go from recognizing who you are, right? Where you lean, whether it be masculine or feminine, recognize that, And then in order to get the arousal or generate the energy needed, right, you have to somehow place yourself, visualize yourself, think about the opposite. Because without the opposite, then you cannot generate the energy. It's like having a positive and a negative charge. Having both positive and positive doesn't create really much anything, right? But if you have a negative and positive charge, then you create electricity. Now, you have to really go deep within oneself and be secure within oneself in order to acknowledge and access both qualities, both characteristics of energy, right? Feminine and masculine, yin and yang. And when you continue to practice this process by your own means, then you can come to a space where you can actually generate that energy in a space, in a way that is going to truly cultivate a sacred energy, not an energy that is corrupted or perverted in any way. But recognize that this process is not one of instant gratification of pleasure, but an actual spiritual process, right? This is going deep within oneself to access that sexual energy from a spiritual perspective, not just simply a physical perspective. So when you bring together and generate these two energies, right, this positive and negative charge, this yin and yang, this feminine and masculine within yourself, because yes, you do have both within you, you have to come from a very reverent and very sacred space. Your intention must be one of truly going deep within yourself, not just looking for a shallow fix, not just looking for a one time or a quick moment of release, okay? So you want to be mindful that this experience is not one that is to be had really fast and be done with. It is a process that you're going to savor and you're going to extend, right? And it goes beyond just the physical. It goes beyond just touching oneself and massaging oneself and doing all those things, but it is a synergy between your mind, your body, and your soul, not just focusing on the body. So as you go through the process, continue to be reverent about what it is that you're creating and what you're generating and why you are generating this energy. Remember, the process of manifestation is not simply about creating something, right? It is really about understanding and coming into the realization as to who you are. So as you practice this, recognize and remember, right? Anchor within you that this process is about a self-realization of who you are, the creator of your universe. And you are just using the concepts of the universe, the contrast of the universe, right? Which is a basic fundamental law of opposites. And now you are utilizing those opposites within yourself to generate the energy that's going to support you in creating the thing that you want, but ultimately using that to affirm who you are, to come into realization as to who you are. So it is just simply a process of your spiritual journey and coming into an awakening, coming into the realization as to who you are. So recognize that sex is about balancing energies within you. It isn't about just a physical fix or a physical release. It's about balancing energies within you and then using that energy, right, which is a very potent and powerful energy, which is used to create human beings, but now you are using it and you are intentionally focusing that energy toward creating the thing that you want to evolve yourself as a human being, right? To understand and access the true essence of who you are as a human being. So remember, as you think about your sacred sexual energy, acknowledge the fact that it is a balance of two energies, the yin, the yang, the feminine, the masculine. And when you come into acknowledging those things within you, because those things are within everything, then you come into beginning the process of mastering how to direct this sexual energy toward creating the thing that you have decided to create. Thank you so much. Continue to join me on this journey and feel free to visit drabundant.com. Peace and abundance always.